Gilda's Club was founded essentially on the death of Gilda Radner. She died at the age of 42, and at that time, her husband mainly sort of set up the foundation with some Gilda's foresight on what was going to happen. But how Gilda actually came about doing this was that the first sort of forms of treatment that she sought were the clinical ends on the East Coast, and also the sort of support and wellness ends that she got from the Wellness Center in the West Coast. And she found that, that life to her was about living and trying to be happy even through the ordeals of it all. And for her it was cancer, trying to maintain a sense of hope, a sense of dignity through the whole process. So in her life, and towards the end of her life, in her battle, she essentially set the wheels in motion to found all this. And in her honor, these rooms are named after her Saturday Night Live characters. And we're going to Wah Wah Wah. I'm sort of old enough to remember that skit, so let's have a look at what these rooms look like inside. This is a wonderful place. When I sit here, I feel like I can talk. And I feel like I can breathe. And if I had cancer, this might be one of the places I'd want to go. There's about 5 rooms like this upstairs. I don't know. I'm drawn to this one the most, the affinity of it all. Just the colors, some of the Southwest motifs, some of the memories I have in life that make me feel more comfortable. But one of the things I want everyone to look at, and we're going to visit this very soon, are that in each of these rooms there are stones. And these stones, I think, are more than just metaphors. They're things that people carry out of here with them. They're memories, they're meanings, they're the rock, they're the foundations that let them go forward. And as each person, in fact, before I go on with that, you should see some of the things that people have written on these things. Someone wrote the word trust. And perhaps that's what a lot of it is about in these rooms, is learning to trust the Gilda Center, the faith in medicine, the faith in humanity, that I think the volunteerism and the goodwill of this whole thing together. And someone felt that and took that with them and took that home and brought that back. And a lot of other stones here, people just write welcome. Someone's so welcome. Isn't that a fun thing to say on a stone? Have you ever written that on a stone before? I haven't. I think it has a whole new meaning in itself. And we're going to see these stones throughout every room we go to. And finally, we're going to see this out in the garden, and I'll explain the meaning of these more a little bit later. We're in the Lisa Lupner room right now. Another room that I love, and one of the reasons I do is the artwork. Some of the scenes that I'm looking at right now are in the dells of Wisconsin, that when I was a cyclist, I used to go there when I would come to Wisconsin and ride through. Now, anyone who lives in the state knows the most peaceful parts of it, and I can see them in this room. On the table here are a lot of information. Cancer Fighters Thrive, Coping with Uncertainty, Brave, Coping Magazine, which is one that I can highly recommend. Please do go to their site. But a lot of resources everywhere for people, and a lot of topics in these magazines that people can sit here and talk about together. And as I mentioned again, the ubiquitous stone, someone inscribed on this one, friends. And I have a feeling that that inscription means friends for life, and perhaps even in death. One of them is dreams. It may be the same thing in life and in death. And I see stones of all different colors and shapes, and I think they actually represent the types of people that come in here, all different colors and shapes and ages. It's a wonderful spot. Let's go to one more room. Now we're in the art room. Of the rooms we just went through, there are 2 other meeting rooms just like that. They have different motifs, a little bit different feeling, but the principle is the same. A place is comfortable to go and discuss and talk, and a place to come to get away and cope. Now we're in the art room. this is a great place. You can do anything you want here, make anything. This is a fine example right here hanging on the wall. One of the folks that used the center here made this piece of stained glass. That is beautiful. This isn't just cheap little arts and crafts. People that come to this room and use these rooms are discovering something about themselves. I mean, genuinely, talents they have, perhaps for the first times in their life, these are moments of discovery. Yeah, there are arguments that cancer is a terrible and horrible thing, and arguably it is. But perhaps there is something that comes from this all that awakens something inside of us, that brings out the best of us in this fight for our lives. And what I see around here are images of hope everywhere. I mean, look at some of these drawings here. This is Lindsay. Lindsay before and Lindsay after. Okay? They're images of change. This is about a future, of a little girl's future right here. She's going to get well. She wants to get well. That's how someone feels about their mother. I love you, Mommy. Look how Mommy's doing in that one. Okay. You know, this is a vision of hope. And this room has everything you could want. It's packed with needlepoint, with knitting, all sorts of artwork you can do. You can work in pastels. You can work in all sorts of mediums. There's jewelry. There's coloring. There's beadwork. And these cabinets are filled with different sorts of stamps and projects you can do. There's just unlimited ways in here of being creative with yourself. And in fact, if you can't find it here, there's a whole assortment over here of videotapes and books to learn how to do these arts and crafts. And if you notice one thing about this center, it's a place that's alive with media and lots of music. You know, we were looking at the stones later, and I gave you my sentiments. It's described to me by Kirsten. These stones are so important here. But in this basket and on this table, these stones take on a very special sort of character. Because for those folks that don't make it, that have cancer, that eventually die, their names are put on a stone and they're moved into this basket right here. And I'm holding in my hands the hopes and dreams of a lot of people right now. And not just hopes and dreams of themselves, but of other people that have had for them. I don't even want to read the names right now, because I know they have so much meaning to people. But as I read them, I really feel like I'm holding them in a certain way. And they have the date of departure on them. And one thing I noticed about these stones is none of them are the same. And I think that's what this center is about, that they really understand that everyone who's going and fighting cancer is not fighting it in the same way. Everybody has their own sort of viewpoint towards it, their own way of sort of fighting it. And in every way, it's sort of good in itself. It's a personal experience. And they're sort of here to help you with that. And they're here especially not to alienate anybody. They're going to take in the little shiny stones. They're going to take in the red stones. They're going to take in this real stubborn dark one, which is like me. And they're going to take these old big stones like my brother. They're going to take everybody in here. But eventually we all have to go. But you know, there's one thing about this, is these stones are a permanent place here, because they go nowhere. They go in the garden. I'm going to show you where they go. And let's have a tour of the outside. If you come to visit Gilda's Club or need their services, the first thing you're going to notice is the reception desk right here in the front lobby. And you're always going to find someone with a smile on their face. Hi. She does not want to be identified, but she's the most friendly, nice person you're ever going to find. And I find everybody here that way. Very professional. And look at this room, how live it is. And the pictures of who made it possible. Gilda Radner, hanging all over Wisconsin and vicinity here. I think her presence is everywhere in the world, and it should be. And well, that says it about it all for today. And we'll be back soon next year with our cancer survivors. Until then, we want to thank you very much. Here we are in the back patio of Gilda Club. And to have a look at the back of this building, how beautiful this facility is. It's just gorgeous. Right now I'm sitting at the fountain. And this fountain right here is sort of a special spot, because these are the stones of the people who've been here, and some of them haven't made it. headed. This one says, let go, let God, right here. And they're all retained, right, in this pond, this pool. They're part of this place now. And when they started this journey in life, they didn't, but as they became cancer victims, they became part of this world. Some of them emerge here cured, some of them don't. But I'll tell you what, it would be a much worse place without Gilda's Club for these folks who have had their lives taken from them, and I'm just grateful that it is here. And it's here for everybody. No matter what color you are, no matter what age you are, have a look at this playground. No matter who you are, you're always welcome. And I hope we can find more spots like this. This is definitely a shining beacon, and we're just grateful the good people of Madison have put themselves together and volunteered so much of their time. And it's off for us and John to the next spot. Till then.